The boy who heard voices from heaven. Have you ever felt like you weren't alone, even when you were?
Have you ever had the feeling that someone was protecting you, even when you couldn't see anyone? Today, you're going to hear the true story of a boy who grew up experiencing exactly that. He was just a child, like any other, but there was something about him,
Something that nobody understood. While other children ran, shouted, and played, he stood still.
he would stand there, staring into nothingness, or rather,
For something that only he could see from a very young age. He had a secret so big that even adults would be afraid to tell,
but he wasn't afraid.
because what was happening to him wasn't darkness.
It was light. One night,
When everyone in the house was already asleep, he woke up to a soft voice calling his name. It wasn't a human voice.
it wasn't a whisper of the wind. It was something
Different. He opened his eyes and saw a bright figure, so clear and pure that it seemed as if the whole room was smiling. The figure said, "Don't be afraid."
I'm with you, and there, that night, the boy discovered that he was not alone.
He talked to angels. What's most impressive is that he didn't scream. He didn't run away. He didn't hide. Do you know why? Because he felt peace. A peace so great, so profound, that it felt like an invisible embrace. The angel made a promise. You would bring light to many people.
I will guide you, and so the story began. Not a hero, not from a wizard, but from a saint. The saint who conversed with angels. But what he experienced after that night, the warnings he received, the visions he had, the miracles he witnessed.
They are so impressive that even today adults, children, scientists, and religious people are trying to understand them. Get ready.
From now on, you will hear true stories that have spanned centuries, and that might make you look at the sky in a different way today. The signs begin.
The boy who saw the invisible after that first mysterious night. The boy's life was never the same again. He continued to grow, but as if he could see a world that no one else could see. The neighbors found it curious. What a strange boy, they said. But he didn't care, because he knew he wasn't alone.
Every day, at different times, he felt a presence, a gentle energy.
As if someone were protecting him, he said. They talk to me, but not with their mouths. They speak here.
From the heart. It was like knowing your mother is nearby, even without seeing her. He felt the angel like that. One day, while helping his father, he suddenly stopped. His eyes were fixed on a point in the sky.
The father thought he was feeling unwell, but no,
He was seeing something that no one else was seeing.
he said he saw 3 bright figures, as if they were made of wind and light.
They walked across the field without touching the ground. One of them raised her hand and waved at him. The father tries to see, but sees nothing.
He said someone was coming, and the person would show up minutes later. He knew when someone was sad, even with a normal face. He said to avoid a certain route, and later they would discover that an accident had happened there.
People started to get restless. How does he know all this? They asked, but he always said the same thing. The angel told me. The whole village went out to search, but nobody found anything. That's when the boy said, "Follow me."
He's near the river.
Sitting on a rock.
Everyone was confused.
How do you know? And he replied, "The angel showed me." From that day on, no one doubted the boy anymore. Explore his relationship with the angels in more depth. Angels didn't appear just to show dangers. They were teaching.
They taught people how to pray. They taught people to do good. They taught them to keep their hearts pure.
And often, they would just stand beside him in silence. He didn't learn from books.
He learned from light. One day, the angel said to him, "You weren't made to live only for yourself. You have a mission, to bring peace where there is pain." And the boy replied simply, "I'm just a child."
What can I do?
And the angel said, "Just listen. We'll do the rest together." But what began as small signs, it became something much bigger, because, as time went on, the angel stopped merely speaking to him.
And they began to act alongside him. Miracles began to happen. And the whole world began to hear about the boy. And that's what you're going to see now. Miracles. mysteries and the mission of angels. If before the boy only listened to the angels, now they would begin to act on his side,
and everyone would notice it. One day, a very strong storm was approaching, something that was not common in the region.
The sky was black, the wind was howling.
Everyone ran for cover.
But the boy just stood there. The mother yells for him to come inside. But
he replies, "There's no need to be afraid. He's here at this moment." Describe the apparition. A huge luminous figure, with wings that seemed to open the sky, appeared beside the boy. He was a warrior angel, strong as a mountain, bright as the sun. The wind calms down around the boy, while the storm continues to rage around them. The people who saw this were so frightened that they fell to their knees, but the boy only said, "He takes care of us." A few days later, a very sick woman was brought to him. The doctors in the region had already lost hope. The boy holds her hand and closes his eyes. He didn't say anything different.
No complicated prayers. He simply said, "Your angel is touching you." And at that moment, the lady opened her eyes. One night, thieves tried to break into the boy's house. They banged, pushed, and kicked the door, but she didn't move, as if it were made of stone. The next day, the boy explains, "It wasn't me."
2 angels were holding the door.
Shut. The family is speechless. On several occasions, the boy received warnings from angels. He asked a group of travelers not to follow a certain path.
They ignore it.
They later discover that a huge tree fell and killed 2 people who were passing by at the time.
After that, no one doubted anymore. He warns people to keep animals and children away from the river. Less than an hour later, a flash flood destroys part of the riverbank.
The whole village looks at him differently. One night, while everyone was asleep, the boy woke up to a light so bright it seemed like day. Before him stood the most impressive angel of all, high,
Strong,
with eyes that seemed to see everything.
and a sword that wasn't meant for attacking, but for protecting. There are people you need to help.
"And I will be by your side." One morning, the village awoke to a strange signal. At the top of a mountain, there was a bright light, as if it were burning inside the rocks. People don't understand. The boy explains, "It's the angel."
He's warning that something big is going to happen. And it really happens. A drought that would last for months, but the village had already prepared because it believed the warning.
While other cities suffered, that village went through the difficult period without losing anything, and all because they listened to the message from the angels. But the episode that marked everyone's lives happened on a quiet afternoon, showed the villagers gathered in the town square. The boy is sitting down when suddenly he looks up. He says, "Look."
He's coming. A huge light appears in the sky.
It's not lightning. It's not the sun. It's a brilliant shape, like giant wings spread open.
The whole village can see it. People start to cry. Others kneel down. Everyone saw it. Everyone felt it.
That day, the whole village believed the miracles weren't meant to impress anyone. They were messages, reminders, signs that the sky always finds a way to speak to us if we know how to listen. And now, you're going to discover the most beautiful part of this story. The final message from the angels to the world.
The mission revealed the saint who walked between 2 worlds duration. After so many signs, so many visions, and so many miracles, the boy began to feel something different. It was no longer just the presence of one angel or another. It was as if the entire sky was calling out to him. He wakes up to a light so bright that the room seems to
Disappear.
And it was there, that night, that he heard the phrase that would change his destiny forever. The angel says, "Your mission has begun.
You will be a light to many." The music builds slightly.
Listen to the sad ones. It consoles those who have lost someone.
Calms family conflicts. It gives hope to those who had already given up. The angels taught him, and he put it into practice. What he said seemed ordinary, but it touched people as if it came from somewhere else.
Entirely. A woman says, "My son is lost in life. I don't know what to do anymore." The boy replies, "The angel said that the love you give is what will bring him back." The woman cries and hugs the boy.
One day, he had a very vivid vision. He saw the village covered in smoke and heard screams. He knew something bad was about to happen. He gathers everyone together and asks them to put out bonfires, remove flammable objects, and wet their houses with water. People obey because they trust him.
Hours later, lightning strikes a dry area of the forest. The fire spread quickly, but when it got close to the village,
it simply stopped, as if an invisible wall had been placed there. Some residents swear they have seen bright lights around the village, like guardians.
One year, the harvest was terrible. The food was running out.
The families were worried. That's when the boy asked them to gather everything they had. He places the few necessities on a simple table and prays. No one knows how to explain what happened next, but the food seemed to never run out. As the years went by, the angels began to show things not only of the present,
but also of the future, short examples. He warned about natural disasters days in advance.
He helped travelers who were about to get lost. He predicted illnesses and provided guidance on care. He gave advice that proved remarkably accurate. People started calling him the boy who sees what nobody else sees. Not everything
was light, because where there is great light,
there is always shadow. He sees a large shadow in the distance, a dark spirit, a negative presence. The warrior angel appears beside him.
The angel said, "Do not be afraid, wherever you are. No shadow can overcome the light." The shadow disappears like smoke. Soon, his story spread. People traveled for days just to hear him speak. Children touched their hands.
Elderly people were crying in front of him, but he remained humble, simple, just.
Like the boy who talked to angels. Some say they saw the boy surrounded by a golden light as he walked. Others say they saw him floating for a few seconds during a prayer.
Some people swear that his feet glowed when he walked at night. Make the audience feel the mystery without stating that it is right or wrong. Over time, that boy became much more than just someone special. He became a symbol of hope, a lighthouse,
a living saint among the people.
But the most beautiful thing, it wasn't miracles, not even the lights, not even the visions. This was the message he left for the world, and which you are about to hear.
The saint and the angels. The call for our life now that you've heard this amazing story about the saint who talked to angels.
I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine the final scene. The saint, already elderly, sat near a small window, gazing at the sky.
A tranquil smile played on his face.
There was no fear, no doubt.
Only peace. He knew he had
lived his life listening to something that almost no one else heard anymore. The whisper of light.
And here comes the most important part of this video, the part that can change the way you live from today onwards. The story of this extraordinary man doesn't exist to tell us that he was special. We are not, on the contrary. It exists to remind us that a sky speaks to those who listen. You don't need to see an angel with shining wings to receive a message. Sometimes an angel is a person who appears in your life at the right time, a strong feeling in the heart that says, go this way.
A blessing in disguise that you only realize later. A hug that arrives when you're falling apart. Perhaps you've already experienced something like this,
but didn't realize it. Did you notice?
He was not chosen because he was strong, rich, or powerful.
He was an ordinary person, with fears. I have doubts.
With errors. But there was one thing that changed everything. He had an open heart.
And a willing heart is rarer than talent, knowledge, or anything else the world values.
This story sparks curiosity, but it also raises a profound question. What if something similar could happen to me?
Perhaps not in the same way. Perhaps not with angels physically appearing, but with certainties that arise from nowhere, with strengths you didn't think you had, with silent miracles that no one sees but you feel. If you've watched this far, you probably felt something different in this
video.
It's no coincidence.
Sometimes spiritual stories come to us as gifts or as reminders,
or like little nudges in the right direction. Perhaps this video is one of those signs. And now I leave you with two final questions. What would you do if you believed you were not alone?
How would you live if you knew you had angels watching over your every step? Think about it. If this story touched your heart, Perhaps it can touch someone else's heart too.
Someone who needs to believe, someone who needs hope, someone who needs to remember that the invisible is also real. Share this video with someone special.
This could be the sign she's been waiting for. And if you want more true, profound, and supernatural stories like this one,
subscribe to the channel because here you will find stories that nourish the soul and strengthen the spirit.
Until the next video, and may the angels accompany you.